You explain yourself again. Somewhere right now, a version of you says nothing at all. No caption, no comeback, no excuse. He already won and no one had to be told. He does not know your name. He does not need to. He is who you were supposed to become, and he is not waiting for the man still talking. 6 silences stand between you and him. Shut your mouth. This is where they start. This is the Spartan protocol. One weapon forged in Stoic fire and Spartan blood, sharper than anything you own. The silence you refuse to break. No comfort, no apology, just the code. Chapter 1. The silence before you move. Most men announce the war before they've won a single battle in it. New year, new me. Said out loud to 12 people who will remember it in December when nothing has changed. Epictetus told his students not to explain their philosophy, but to embody it, because a man who has to describe the plan out loud is usually still looking for permission to attempt it, or an audience to catch him if he fails. The plan does not need your voice. It needs your hands. The Spartans did not send letters ahead announcing which cities they intended to break. They marched, and the city found out when the wall came down. Not showmanship. Discipline turned inward, so that all the energy a lesser man burns on talking about the work goes instead into the work itself. A boy in the agoge did not tell the other boys he was going to endure the whip without a sound. He simply did, and the silence afterward was the only proof anyone needed. So here is how you live it. Stop telling people about the diet before you have lost the weight. Stop telling people about the business before it has made a single sale. Stop posting the plan and start executing it where no one is watching, so that the only announcement is the result itself, arriving already finished. If someone asks what you're working on, a short, true answer is enough. You do not owe the room your entire strategy. Picture the recruit standing at the edge of the training ground before dawn, telling no one what he intends to prove that day. He does not need a witness to start. He needs only the decision made once in silence, and then the work that follows it. You will want to tell someone. The urge to speak the plan out loud feels like progress because it feels like commitment. It is not commitment. It is a release valve, letting the pressure out before the work ever gets done. Keep the pressure in. Let it move your hands instead of your mouth. Move first. Explain never if you can help it. Let the silence before you speak become the loudest thing about you. Chapter 2. The silence under attack. When Philip of Macedon threatened Sparta, warning that if his army marched into their land he would raze it to nothing, the Spartans sent back one word, if, no paragraph defending their honor, no list of past victories. One word because one word was enough, and anything more would have suggested the threat actually frightened them. Silence, aimed correctly, cuts deeper than any argument you could construct on the spot. Marcus Aurelius kept a private note to himself for exactly this, that the best answer to an insult is often no answer at all, because the man who insults you is asking for a reaction, and a reaction is a gift you do not owe him. Every time you explain yourself to someone determined to misunderstand you, you hand them a rope, and then act surprised when they use it to keep pulling. The urge to correct every lie told about you is vanity wearing the costume of justice. So here is how you live it. The next time someone provokes you online, in a group chat across a table, feel the heat rise in your chest and let it rise without opening your mouth. Count the silence as the win. If a response is truly required, make it short, flat, and final, the way the Spartans did, not because you lack the words, but because you have already decided the exchange is not worth more of your voice than that. Picture the warrior standing in formation, insulted by an enemy across the field, close enough to hear every word clearly. He does not shout back. He tightens his grip on the shield and waits, because the battle will answer the insult far better than his throat ever could. You will feel the itch to defend yourself, to set the record straight, to have the last word. Let the itch pass unanswered. The last word was never the point. The unbothered face was. Say less than the moment is begging you to say. Let your calm be the reply they cannot argue with. Chapter 3. The Silence of the Unwitnessed Rep. No one filmed the agoge. There was no audience for the boy carrying water uphill in the dark, no camera on the recruit holding a plank position until his arms shook, no post afterward listing what he'd endured that day. The work happened, and then it was simply true, carried inside him as fact rather than performance. He did not need 12 strangers to confirm it happened for it to have happened. Seneca warned his friend Lucilius about performing virtue for an audience, noting that a man who trains himself only for applause has built his discipline on the opinion of others rather than on anything solid inside himself. Pull the audience away, and that kind of discipline collapses instantly, because it was never really discipline. It was theater. So here is how you live it. Do the hard set when no one is there to see it, and do not mention it later. Wake up for the run and do not post the route. Sit with the discomfort of not being congratulated for the thing you did today, because the craving for recognition is just another soft blanket, dressed up to look like motivation. Let your own knowledge of what you did be the only proof you require. Picture the warrior in the empty courtyard at first light, repeating the same drill for the 400th time, with no one watching and no reason to expect anyone ever will. He is not building a highlight reel. He is building the only kind of strength that survives the day no one claps for you. You will feel the pull to tell someone to make it count by making it visible. Resist it. The rep still counts. It always counted. It was never waiting on witnesses to become real. Do the work in the dark. Let the silence afterward be the only signature you need. Chapter 4. The Silence After You Win. The Spartans who survived Thermopylae were not remembered because of what they said about the battle afterward. Most of what we know was carved into stone by other hands, at other times, because the men themselves were not in the business of narrating their own legend. They fought, and then they were simply done, and let the field itself testify to what had happened there. A win explained too loudly starts to sound like a man convincing himself it actually happened. Marcus Aurelius warned against the itch to be seen doing good, noting that a man constantly announcing his own virtue is usually the man least sure of it. The same holds for victory. The version of you that has actually arrived somewhere rarely needs to remind the room. He has nothing left to prove, which is exactly why he stops proving it out loud. So here is how you live it. When you hit the number, close the deal, finish the project, resist the urge to broadcast it before the dust has even settled. Let a week pass. Notice how much of the urge to announce it was really about the work, and how much was about being watched doing the work. Tell the people who earned the right to know, quietly, and let everyone else find out the way people used to find out things, by noticing the change in you. Picture the warrior walking back from the field at dusk, armor dented, saying nothing to the men waiting at the gate. They see the state of his shield and understand everything they need to. He does not owe them the story. The shield already told it. You will want the moment where everyone claps. Let that want go unfed sometimes on purpose. The win does not become less real for staying quiet. If anything, it becomes yours alone, which is worth more than an audience's applause. Win and say nothing. Let the results do the only talking that matters. Chapter 5. The Silence You Keep About Others. Every circle of men has one who cannot stop narrating everyone else's failures. He knows exactly who is soft, who is faking it, who does not deserve what they have. He feels sharp saying it. He is not sharp. He is loud in the one place strength is supposed to be quiet, his judgment of other men's weaknesses, which he examines in public far more carefully than he examines his own. Epictetus kept his students focused on the only territory that was ever truly theirs to govern, their own judgments, their own choices, their own conduct. Another man's failure is not your territory. Commenting on it changes nothing about him and reveals everything about you, namely, that you had time to watch his fall closely enough to describe it in detail. So here is how you live it. The next time a name comes up in conversation attached to someone else's mistake, say less than you know. If you must speak, speak the smallest true thing and no more. Do not repeat what was told to you in confidence, dressed up as concern. Let other men's business remain their business, and let your own conduct be the only account you keep a running total of. Picture the officer who watches a younger soldier fail a drill in front of the unit. He does not announce the failure to the barracks that night. He pulls the soldier aside, says what needs saying once, and lets the rest of the men remain ignorant of a mistake that was never theirs to know about. That is not weakness. That is command. You will be tempted by how good it feels to tear another man down in a sentence. Let the sentence go unsaid. The silence costs you nothing, and it costs him nothing either, which, it turns out, is the entire point. Guard your tongue where other men's names are concerned. Let your judgment fall only on the one man you actually have the right to judge. Chapter 6. The Silence at the End. Leonidas did not send a speech back to Xerxes when the Persian king demanded the Spartans lay down their weapons. He sent 2 words, Malan Labe, come and take them. No terror in it, no defiance performed for effect, only the flat certainty of a man who had already made peace with how the day was going to end and had nothing left to negotiate. That is the deepest silence there is, the one that exists on the other side of fear, once a man has stopped arguing with the fact of his own death. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he could leave this life at any moment, and let that fact shape what he did with the time before it, not what he said about it. He did not write his meditations to be quoted at his funeral. He wrote them to remind one man in private to stop wasting the noise of a life on things that would not matter once the noise stopped. Death was not something he discussed loudly. It was something he made peace with quietly every single morning, so it would never again have the power to make him afraid out loud. So here is how you live it. Let the knowledge that your time is finite change your actions before it changes your words. Stop announcing how short life is while still spending your hours exactly the way you always have. Sit with the fact once honestly in silence and let it reorder what you chase starting today. You do not need to tell anyone you have made peace with your own ending. You only need to act like a man who has. Picture the 300 at the pass, in the final hour, saying little to each other, because everything that needed saying had already been said in how they had lived every day before that one. The silence between them was not empty. It was full of a decision made long before the enemy ever arrived. You will still be afraid sometimes. Let the fear stay silent too. It does not need a microphone any more than your courage does. Make your peace with the ending quietly, starting now. Let that silence be the last one and the strongest one you ever carry. 6 silences, 1 weapon. Nothing about hearing them changes anything by itself. The change starts the next time you feel the urge to announce the plan before you've done the work, and you close your mouth instead. It starts the next time you're insulted and the room waits for your comeback, and you give them nothing. It starts the next time you finish something hard with no one watching, and you let that be enough. No one is coming to guard your tongue for you. No one is coming to sit with your own mortality on your behalf, or hold your silence under an insult, or keep quiet about another man's failure when gossip would feel so much better in the moment. That work has exactly one name attached to it, and it is yours. You already know which silence you break first every time. Stop reading that as a weakness. Start reading it as an instruction. Move without announcing it. Take the hit without answering it. Train without an audience. Win without a speech. Judge no one but yourself. Make your peace quietly with the end. This is the Spartan protocol. Go and carry the silence.